Hi, today we're going to be starting extended multiplication facts. And if you don't know what extended means, that means you kind of stretch it out or make it bigger. That's why I wrote it that way. Okay, so first of all, to get us started, I want you to do some thinking for me. If you have 6 apples that cost 40 cents each, what is the total cost? So think about that first problem. 6 apples cost 40 cents each. What is the total cost? How could we solve that? There's several different ways that we could solve it, but we're going to use extended multiplication in this lesson. So that's what I'm going to try to get you thinking about, and we'll talk about some other ways that we can do it here in a minute. So basically what you're going to be doing is taking 6 times 40 cents to get your answer for that. And I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. And then our second problem says there are 40 cans of tennis balls with 3 balls per can. How many in all? So we look at the in all, we think we can add, but that's going to take us a while. The quicker way to do that would be to multiply. Not that you couldn't do it with addition, but this lesson is about multiplication, so we need to get those multiplication facts down. So basically, again, we're going to take the number 40 and we're going to multiply that times 3. So let's take a look at how do we do those kinds of things. Okay, our possible solutions, I did mention that you could use repeated addition. It's going to take you longer and you can eventually get to the answer, but you can use that if you're desperate and you don't know how to multiply. You can use array pictures, where we draw pictures in arrays, like if it were 3 times 4, you'd have 3 rows of 4, that kind of thing, if you don't remember what an array is. And then we can use what our lesson is about, which is extended multiplication. So I've kind of got some pictures here to show you each of those things. My first picture, right here, would be our repeated addition. My second picture is kind of like an array, but not quite. And then my third picture, it's not really a picture, problem is the actual extended multiplication. So basically what we're doing in extended multiplication is we are multiplying the basic fact, 6 times 4, and then we are adding the 0 to the end of that. So if you would cover up that 0 and multiply the 6 times 4, which all of you should know is 24, and then you put that 0 at the end in your answer, we would get 240 cents. Now we don't normally talk like 240 cents. We actually need to convert that into dollars and cents, so that actually equals $2.40. Okay, the second problem, if we use the extended multiplication, notice I wrote out 40 times 3, and I'm basically doing the basic fact that you should know, which is 4 times 3. That's where that 12 comes from, right there. And then we're taking that 0 and moving it over. So 120 balls would be the answer to that second question. Okay, one of the things that you'll be doing in this lesson is you'll be taking a look at some of your multiplication fact triangles, and you're going to be writing or looking at what would my original fact be, could my extended fact be, and be able to do that and perform that on a math check and a test. So if we look at the original fact, if we take the fact triangle that has the 35, the 7, and the 5, okay, my original fact would be 7 times 5 equals 35, Or you can do the turnaround fact, 5 times 7 equals 35, whichever. And what we're going to do for the extended fact is we're going to add a 0 to the end of that first number. So my extended fact might look like this. 70 times 5 equals, and if we do our basic fact, the 7 times 5, we get the 35 portion, and then we move that 0 over, and 70 times 5 equals 350. Pretty cool, right? Okay, let's take a look at the 45, the 9, and the 5 fact triangle. What would your original fact be? Could say 9 times 5 equals 45. And if we turn that into an extended fact, we're going to add a 0 to that first number. So we're going to have 90 times 5. And now I'm going to solve my basic fact. 9 times 5 is 45. And then I'm going to move that 0 over, which gives me 450. Okay, our last one, we have 48 and 5. So if we do 8 times 5 equals 40 as our original fact, and if we make an extended fact, it's going to be 80 times 5 equals my basic fact, and then add my 0, 400. Pretty easy, right? Hopefully. Okay, that's basically this lesson. So our summary, we need to know our basic multiplication facts, and then knowing those can allow us to multiply extended facts, which is kind of awesome. Thanks for watching, guys, and write down any questions, bring them to class.